I'm here in beautiful Barcelona for the launch of this, the Royal Enfield Guerilla 450. So Royal Enfield are dubbing this the return of the real roadster, and we have just ridden it on some beautiful roads up the mountains surrounding Barcelona, and it is absolutely that. It is a fantastic roadster motorcycle. Let's start with what is familiar. It's based on the 452cc Sherpa engine and frame from the Himalayan. The engine is an absolute cracker. It has 40 horsepower and, more importantly, 40 Newton meters of torque, and that torque is spread really broadly across the rev range. So wherever you are, whatever gear you're in, there's some power to get there. I was surprised how punchy this bike was coming up the hill. We were stringing together some lovely curves, and yeah, it was an awful lot of fun. It's really interesting to hear the wording they're using on this bike. So it's about dynamics, it's about visceral, and it's about fun. The dynamic road test team are based a short way from here, and when they were talking and presenting this bike last night, you could tell how proud they were of the package they've put together to ride on the road. And one of the things they were particularly happy about was that for the first time for a long time for Royal Enfield, they've got to work with 17-inch wheels, front and rear. So let's do a front to back on the bike. You've got Showa right way up forks this time, so they're 43mm Showa forks. Really nice to see the gaiters there, a bit of a throwback. It's one of those bikes, it's Enfield so often do heritage and classic styling, whereas this is a complete departure from that. It's got real gut punch colors, and the styling of it is really punchy. They did a fantastic social media campaign on it, and it was messing with their traditional structure, but there are still those hints of Enfield in there. We've got a nice round headlight, round gauge. The gauge has the Tripper navigation system that Royal Enfield have developed with Google, so you can get one turn nav or you can get a whole half screen map, which is really useful. Also through there you access two riding modes. You've got performance and eco. I've only used performance so far today, but when we're in town later we'll drop it down into eco and go nice and sedately. Obviously with the 40 horsepower it sits right in that A2 friendly license range, which is perfect market for this bike. I really like the styling job they've done on it. Coming through the tank, it's a really beautiful shape, and then the one-piece seat. When I was riding today, I was using the higher bench seat. Obviously, I'm 6'4", so every time I sit on the smaller capacity bikes or anything shy of an adventure or rally bike, I'd make it look small. But the high bench seat that I had today, it's about 22mm higher than this, so not a great deal. But it worked well for me physically. I felt really comfortable on the bike. My knees were a little bit tight, but that's always going to be a case for me. The bars are nice and wide. The controls are really intuitive. You've got a little joystick here to navigate through the connectivity you can have with your phone. Coming back through the bikes, you've got removable rubbers in the foot pegs. Talking about rubber, the tires are from Seat, and again, the Dynamics team could not put enough praise on these tires. They've developed these from the ground up for this bike, and yeah, we had some beautiful hot tarmac today and some hot rubber, and they grip like hell. It was really, really impressed with the tires on this. The exhaust, it's got a cracking little bark. It really sounds fantastic. It's so nice to have singles on the marketplace again, because I love a single cylinder, the old XTs, DRs, XRs. Yeah, more singles, please. And this engine is, as I say, a cracking thing. There's some differences in the chassis from the Himalayan. The rake and trail at the front have been changed at the headstock, and there's some changes at the rear suspension and the swing arm. It's shorter than the Himalayan. So there's it's its own motorcycle. They've been really clear with the character of it and what it's meant to be, and that sort of fun, visceral vibe, and you see that into the styling as well. The colorways they've put together on this bike are fantastic. There's 5 colorways. There's a matte silver, which is really classic, beautiful, but then working up from that, they've gone more and more dynamic, and this one is called the yellow ribbon. We've got yellow, we've got purple gradient half-tone polka dots, we've got a purple Royal Enfield badge. I never thought I'd see that. I really like the flex they're doing with the design here. One of the colors they have has a anodized turquoise rear subframe and a turquoise front wheel and some beautiful gradient through the tank, and that's all masked and painted. It's not graphics. This one is done with graphics to get all of these small dots and details, but yeah, I really love the styling job they've done on these. But more importantly, the the riding job they've done on these. They've absolutely nailed it. It's been a pleasure to ride this today, and got beautiful the mountains of Montserrat behind us, and we're going to go out and spend the afternoon riding some more, and I'm looking forward to it. So we've just got back from the afternoon riding this bike. The morning was great. This afternoon was special. The roads around Barcelona are incredible. The traffic opened up for us and we had clear runs at these incredible passes. And this bike just ate it all up. It was perfect. As they have said on the tin, it's a roadster. And on these roads, the bike just devoured them. Working that engine is such a pleasure. I'm a paid up member of the less CCs and less power is just as much fun as big power club. It needs a better name, that club, but it's a good club. And this bike is testament to that. With 40 horsepower working through the slick gearbox, it's just an absolute joy on the road. The suspension is perfect. I'm heavy, so often I slightly overpower suspension, but it was just brilliant. It did everything I wanted it to do. And the whole group of us that were riding together, everyone had such a good day, all different capabilities, speeds, sizes, and everyone got on really well with the bike. I'm trying to think of the things that I didn't mention in the previous video that I was thinking about on the ride, and the main one is the price. This bike starts at £4,850. I cannot think of a better way to have fun spending that amount of money. Honestly, it was so much fun. It feels like so much bike for that. That's for the stock colorway, and then there's a few gradients of colorway up to 5,050, but still such a bargain price. And when you think of the work and development the team have put into this bike and the creation they've made, I think it's a brilliant thing. One of the things I particularly like about it is it's not a sort of a pastiche of a bigger bike. It's not harking back to anything else. They've literally gone with a blank sheet of paper and said, we want to make a roadster, we want to make it fun, we want to make it visceral, we want to make it very present. The ride today, it was one of those rides where you just feel so in the moment. The bike was a huge part of that. I really like the tank shape when you're sat on it. It feels lovely. It was interesting, I was talking to the industrial design team, and the offset filler, I thought it was a nice design touch, but it's actually to make space for the airbox, which is up front under the tank. And with that airbox there, that is apparently one of the things that contributes to the fantastic noise this bike makes. For a low capacity engine, 450 cc's, it's got a real bass to it, and rolling around those mountains on and off the throttle, the sound of it, the bass of it, yeah, it was wonderful. One of the things I'm really interested by in this bike, as a bike shed, custom bikes, I can't wait to see what people do with it, because it feels like an incredible base for people to further play with. We've seen the Gary Birtwistle flat tracker bike that he's racing in the DTRA, and that's based on the Himalayan chassis, and he's got a sort of a one-piece bodywork on there, and he's used the sort of the subframe mounts to create a different subframe. I don't think he made it, the engineering team, the design team that put that bike together. And it just sort of shows that actually as a customizer or even custom light, there's so much potential in this. There's lots of accessories that Royal Enfield have made. So there's the seat, which I mentioned earlier. They do like a headlight grille, a little nacelle there. They've got luggage bags and racks for that. So there's lots of options and ways to mix it up and change it. But as it comes from the factory, you're getting a really good fun bike. I had a great day on this thing. So yeah, thanks very much. I suggest you go and have a ride on one of these. Try find some roads like that as well. Cheers.